Hey guys, so the patch 6.25 notes are out, and I'm going to be here to give you the condensed summary of them. First thing is that the relic line has been added with patch 6.25, and this is going to start with the Hildebrand quests that are going to be starting off with the quest Lunar Conspiracy given by Nasty Maracas in Rods at Hand at X 11.8 and YF 11.2. That's going to be pretty much right by the Aetheryte. This will eventually unlock the Manderville weapons quests, which are going to be called Make It a Manderville. Specific details on what we're doing with the relic aren't being given in the patch notes, but you are going to be very sure that in a few short hours I'm going to be getting that information to you guys really quick, because relic hunting is amazing. It's just kind of become my thing over the years since Rome Reborn. The next thing added is the variant dungeons, which begins with the quest A Key to the Past that starts in Old Charlie in X of 12 in YF 13.3 by talking to Shallow Moore. Prerequisite quest to this is to have finished the Endwalker main story questline and speak with the NPC Asmin in the Old Charlian X 11.9 YF 13.3 coordinate. This will unlock the variant dungeon, the Sildin Subterrane, which is going to be the more casual dungeon that will allow you to enter alone or in a party of 4 that will scale in difficulty. For anyone who's a little lost with all this jargon going around, basically we have 3 dungeons being added in variant Criterion. Just 3, and this is going to be the super casual one. We have one that's a little bit more difficult, and then we have the Savage one that is going to be the more like I'm trying to think of the word like extreme content. Is going to be more difficult, more aspirational content is the word I was thinking of. Variant dungeons can be entered using the brand new user interface element called the V&C Dungeon Finder, meaning variant and Criterion, I'm pretty sure, which can be found under duty in the main menu, and you can enter solo by checking enable party matchmaking. Otherwise, matching will just set you up with a team similar to Palace of the Dead, which would probably be the best analogy. If you've ever done Palace of the Dead, it's a similar idea. And there are going to be no role requirements in this casual dungeon, and there are going to be like special variant actions unlocked that you can utilize to make up for any missing gaps in the party composition. So if you have 4 DPS, then you can go and someone can get like a healer action to make up for that. Next up is like that second level, a little bit harder than casual, which is going to be called the Criterion Dungeons, not the Savage ones, but the normal Criterion, which is going to be named another Sildin Subterrane that was added, and it is worth noting that you need an average item level of 610 or higher to even enter, and that's going to cap out at 635, so best of slot will definitely make a massive impact here. To unlock this, you're going to need to complete the quest A Key to the Past. You will then speak with Asmin in Old Charlian of X 11.9 and YF 13.3, and then this becomes available to complete. So you can actually queue into Criterion Dungeons, this normal Criterion Dungeon, using that V&C Dungeon Finder that will be matched with a group of 1 tank, 1 healer, 1 melee DPS, and then either of the ranged physical or magical DPS. They are going to be enforcing that meta. What is really interesting though is that this will have a party composition bonus where you will get a bonus to damage dealt according to specific party compositions, such as jobs that have utility that impacts 8 players usually are going to be getting a bigger damage buff bonus from this mechanic, because now the party is down to 4 players, so half the number of people impacted by party buffs. So for example, I expect this to impact something like the Bard that focuses on buffing the entire team, all 8 players in like a normal full party, to now 4 players, so obviously that's getting their buffs half the usage. I expect the Bard to see much more of this than something, say, the Machinist. Oh, poor Machinist, I feel so bad for them right now, I'm so sorry. But as far as I can tell reading this, that is exactly how this is going to work, just to make sure that the jobs that give buffs don't fall too hard behind the ones that don't. So in this Criterion Dungeon, another Sildin Subterrane, the normal mode of it, everyone will be given the action variant Raise 2, and no other variant action can be used like during this dungeon, and it can only be used once during this dungeon. So 1 chance to revive for everyone in the party, and there will be chances to replenish it throughout, but this is gonna really be there to prevent res cheesing, like Summoner, Red Mage, and Healer revives. You can't stack them, that's not gonna work. Finally, we're at Savage Criterion Dungeons, so this is gonna be the 3rd tier of the dungeons that I was talking about. We went over the casual, we went over the little bit harder Criterion Dungeons, which were the normal mode, and now we're talking about the Savage version of the Criterion Dungeons. And this has no item level requirement, but it does sync at level 635, and so best in slot will for sure be very big here, and I really am having pain over this because healers get their gear last. But so this is going to be available by speaking to Asmon in Old Charlian of X 11.9 and YF 13.3 after finishing the Criterion Dungeon and the normal mode of Another Sylvan Subterrane. But what you need here is you do need to be a pre-formed 4-player party to queue for this content and queue through the VNC Dungeon Finder just the same as the others. Similar to the other Criterion Dungeon though, you get that party composition bonus buff to help even out the damage buff jobs that only have half the number of players impacted by the buffs, kind of like that Bard example. Same system here. There are, however, many more rules here for Savage Criterion Dungeons, and this is going to make a very big difference. First off, there are no variant actions, including that revive one that you did get in the normal mode. Secondly, you will not be able to cast any resurrection abilities, period, at all. You will not be able to return to the Criterion Dungeon starting point if knocked out, and if that entire party is knocked out, you will lose all progress in the dungeon and have a complete reset at the start of the dungeon. So it's not, okay, everyone dies and we're at the start of it. It's called everyone died and we're at the start of it, and every single thing in the dungeon spawned. Now there's another effect, like a timer effect, called the Sewer Dweller effect, that over time enemies will get a huge set of buffs, making them so much stronger. If the group was taking too long to get through the dungeon, this is going to be reset if the party completely wipes though, of course. So if you're taking too long, basically this mechanic is going to really mess you up. Also, if you're logged out or probably more likely disconnected from the dungeon, you will be returned knocked out because they, I guess, don't want any logout cheese, which is fair. Now for all of these dungeons, Variant Criterion and Savage Criterion Dungeons, you can exchange items with Croissant at Old Charlian X 11.9, Y of 13.3 with tokens from completing the variant dungeons. All of them land up with this Croissant and Old Charlian. Now if you've had enough of variant and Criterion Dungeons, because there was a lot of information, I'm so sorry, but now we're going to get into the brand new OMICRON beast tribe that has been added, which requires you to have completed the quest where no Loperate has gone before to start this, which will unlock the cafe at the end of the universe from Jamming Way. I'm personally really hyped for this beast tribe. This has been one that I have been looking forward to for a very long time. Now with this patch we're seeing a bunch of brand new indoor and outdoor housing items being added. Some of them look really cool. We have music scrolls and triple triad cards and brand new emotes, fashion accessories, minions, and more. Lots of good stuff this patch. A lot of people are going to be really happy. Now, Savage changes have come for Asphodelos, which is going to be the first raid tier of this expansion, where Echo is much stronger now. So anyone wanting those glam pieces, honestly, they're some of the best looking weapons. I cannot blame you. You might want to be checking that out now. It'll be a lot easier now. And then the 7th Circle Savage has had their arena appearance now change once it's completed. I wonder if this is in relation to the weird marker thing brought up before. I'm not sure how it's changing, but it was here in the notes, so I'm gonna mention it. And that brings us to the end of the video. I hope that everyone's as excited for the relics and variant Criterion Dungeons as I am. I am honestly probably not gonna even sleep before this launches, so I'm actually super hyped. I hope everyone is gonna have an absolutely amazing patch day. Take care, and I hope that you honestly enjoy this as much as I do. Oh yeah, and don't forget to cat daddy that subscribe button and drop Hildebrand on that like button.